won more NFL MVPs than any other player and widely regarded as the smartest quarterback to ever play the game. But despite his greatness, playoff struggles, and his rivalry with Tom Brady has made his career one of the most highly debated of all time. So, just how good was Peyton Manning actually? Road to the NFL. Not many players have a story as unique as Peyton Manning. Even less can say their father was also an NFL quarterback. In the 1970s and 1980s, Archie Manning was the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. So, since Peyton could walk, Archie groomed him to be an NFL QB as well. Whether it was in the neighborhood or on the Saints field, Peyton and his brothers were always playing football. That continued into high school. In Peyton's sophomore year, he took over as Isidore Newman's starting quarterback, joining his older brother Cooper, who was already a standout wide receiver.
But you can see the aura and the Mannings. You can see it. Well, don't you wish you can have that, like, I'm not gonna put my father's I'm about to come on here and talk about some. Don't y'all just wish y'all had a father like that? But y'all probably got this is aura. This is aura. Shout out to Archie Manning.
Isidore Newman's starting quarterback, joining his older brother Cooper, who was already a standout wide receiver. Cooper was heavily recruited by Division I schools before settling on Ole Miss, his father's alma mater. But before he could ever play for the Rebels, he was diagnosed with a spinal condition that crushed those dreams, forcing him to leave football behind forever. In honor of Coop, Peyton...
Damn, bro.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Damn, that's tough, bro.
Peyton changed his number, donning the famous number 18. Peyton also intensified. He ran in the pitch dark, woke the coaches up to work out, and found extra time. He ran in the pitch dark, woke the coaches up to work out, and found extra time to throw to college and pro receivers. He finished his high school career with 7,207 passing yards and 92 touchdowns. But more importantly, as the #1 quarterback recruit in the nation, the whole world thought Peyton was on a path straight to being an Ole Miss Rebel like his dad. Then, Peyton shocked the world and chose Tennessee instead.
Hey, they said, nah, we different. Peyton was the kid that was like, man, I'm not with that same old. I'm different. I'm a rebel for real.
Pissed off Ole Miss fans so much, they sent letters and threats to Archie's house. Peyton wanted to make his own lane, his own name, and so he was a volunteer. He was so ahead in his years and his peers that when the Volunteers' senior starting quarterback went down with an injury, Peyton stepped right in as a freshman, winning 7 of his first 8 starts. In year 2, he was given the reins. When the Vols met the #4 ranked Florida Gators, Manning was dealing. He took his underdog Vols to a 30-21 lead in a chaotic first half, only to have the bottom fall out. The Gators scored 48 straight points, downing Tennessee 62-37. The rest of the season, Manning dominated. The Volunteers won the rest of their games, with Manning throwing for 2,954 yards and 22 touchdowns to just 4 picks. That one loss to Florida all the way back in week 3 was the dark cloud the Vols just couldn't shake. Despite being 10-1, it kept them out of the national title game. In his junior year, Manning was even more dominant. Once again, the Florida Gators were his kryptonite. In what was supposed to be a revenge game, Manning turned in the worst showing of his college career. The Gators picked him off 4 times as they won 35-29. The losses were eating at Peyton. So instead of going to the league, Manning gave up being the first pick for one last shot at UF. He needed to beat them. In his senior game against Florida, Manning threw 51 passes for 353 yards and tossed 3 touchdowns, but still lost. He dominated.
Hey, one thing Peyton said, he said, well, I'm about to throw this thing the whole 50 times, Peyton. I like it though. I like the attitude. Hey, but look though, like, comment, subscribe, bro. I appreciate everybody who tuned into my channel. Appreciate everybody who click the hype button, who comment. But look, man, let me know in the comments y'all want me to react to next. I should do Eli. If I did Peyton, I gotta do Eli. But check the NFL Reaction Legend playlist. Peyton Manning, bro. This man right here is a demon.
For 353 yards and tossed 3 touchdowns, but still lost. He dominated, won Tennessee an SEC championship, set every SEC passing record, won almost all the awards, but the Florida Gators kept him from ever winning it all. Still, the NFL was called.
But somebody let me know in the comments who's on that Florida Gators team. They were stopping Peyton Manning like that? I gotta let me know who's on that Gators team.
With the first pick of the 1998 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts selected Peyton Manning. There's a new sheriff in town. Manning dominated at every level due to his I-can-make-any-throw attitude paired with an insane work ethic. It led him to set a ton of records throughout his career. The first record he set, however, just happens to live in infamy. 28 interceptions, the most ever by a rookie quarterback in an NFL season. The sorry Colts needed a savior, but...
He threw 28 interceptions his rookie year? I bet people thought Peyton Manning was about to be weak sauce. I bet they was thinking, oh yeah, he weak. That's crazy.
Manning wasn't that just yet. 1998 was a struggle. Colts fans were really questioning.
And I like Peyton.
Gunslinging his way through a tough year, the Colts lost 13 games, but the lessons he learned would build the foundation for a legend. Even the biggest Manning supporters wouldn't have bet on what came next.
28.
His perfectionism and attention to detail turned the Colts around in just 1 year. It was only his second year in the league, but when the game was close, there was no one you wanted to have the ball more than Sheriff Peyton. He barked out signals, audibled at the line, and was laying down the law in the clutch. In 1999, nearly every game came down to the wire. First, it was the Jets, then the Chiefs, the Jets again, Miami, New England, Washington. 5 games in a row came down to one final drive with the ball in 8 teams' hands, and he came through every time. By the 7th game-winning drive of the season, it was a foregone conclusion. Peyton Manning was here to stay. After winning just 3 games in 1998, the Colts won 13 in 99. The 10-game turnaround is the largest swing in the history of the NFL, and for the first time in 12 years, the Colts made the playoffs. There, they met the Titans. Tennessee's defense rattled Manning all game, shutting down the Colts' offense on their way to a dominating upset. Unfortunately for the Colts, the next few years would follow a similar trend. From 2000 to 2002, Indy made the playoffs twice and lost in the first round both times. Their 0-2 playoff loss to the Jets was the one and only time Manning would ever be shut out, 41-0. It left the Colts fans speechless.
41 to Nathaniel. Damn.
Was he ever going to win in the postseason? Manning had 4 straight seasons of 4,000 passing yards with over 100 touchdowns combined. But in the playoffs, he had more losses and interceptions than touchdowns scored. And next to the other young star quarterback of the league, Tom Brady, who already won a Super Bowl, it looked even worse. Despite statistically being the top QB.
But damn, Tom Brady did have Belichick in the defense. I understand it, though. You got to get a ring.
In the league, Peyton was at rock bottom. But in the offseason, that pain pushed Manning. If you thought he was intense before, you should have seen him in 2003. He went from being not only the best quarterback, but the best player in the entire league. He engineered the best offense in football, and they obliterated opponents as Manning won his first MVP award. But his focus was on the playoffs and their wild card round matchup with the Broncos. Between college and pro ball, winning in the biggest moments was the dark cloud that hung over him for nearly a decade. Well, the sun shined on Indy that day. 377 yards, 5 touchdown passes, 85% of his passes completed. Not only did Manning lead the Colts to his first playoff victory, but he did it in perfect fashion. He posted the 3rd ever playoff perfect passer rating in NFL history on the way to a 41-10 thumping of the Broncos. The Colts carried that momentum over into their divisional round matchup with the Chiefs, beating them 38-31 in another offensive showcase. Then, in a duel of the decade, Peyton Manning met Tom Brady and the Patriots in the AFC Championship. But the pressure proved to be too much for Manning. He pressed, throwing pick after pick in the snow. His 4th and final sealed the game and his new reputation as a playoff choker. What did Manning do? What he always does. He upped his game. Being MVP or the best player in the world wasn't enough. In 2004, Peyton went for the greatest season in NFL history. For starters, he set the passer rating record at 121.1. Then he broke Dan Marino's mythical 48 touchdown passes record by leading a game-winning drive and tossing his 49th TD of the year. 4,557 yards and 49 touchdowns to just 10 interceptions. It was...
What the fuck was that?
He was 50 and 10. That was nasty. That was the right. He really was the sheriff.
The most efficient passing season ever. He won every regular season award there was. His 2nd MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, all of them. And what did it get him? A second chance in Foxborough. A second chance at Brady and the Pats in the divisional round of the playoffs. This would be his moment, right? In the snow, the Patriots dismantled Peyton again. They put a restraining order on the end zone. From Reggie Wayne fumbling to Rodney Harrison picking Manning off, they walked off head and hands again. Final score, Pats 20, Colts 3. 2005 was deja vu. Manning and the Colts cruised to 13 straight wins. But at this point, no one cared. What would they do in the postseason? They met the underdog Steelers, and boy, was it a ride. Pittsburgh jumped to a 14-point lead, but in the 4th, Manning engineered 2 touchdown drives, making it 21-18. But just as quickly, the comeback looked over as the Steelers had the ball on the 2-yard line going in. Then, Jerome Bettis fumbled the ball. The Colts found life. Sheriff Peyton dotted up the defense and got his team in a position for a game-tying field goal. It's up, and it's wide right. Colts lost again. The only thing that mattered to Peyton now was
Never did he just miss that. I know Peyton was sick. Never, bro. What?
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
He missed it. But I ain't gonna lie, I feel him. I feel you, Peyton, because Lamar Jackson, my Ravens, boy. Where is Justin Tucker when you need him?
on the 2-yard line going in. Then Jerome Bettis fumbled the ball. The Colts found life. Sheriff Peyton dotted up the defense and got his team in a position for a game-tying field goal. It's up, and it's wide right. Colts lost again. The only thing that mattered to Peyton now was winning. And in 2006, he would get his opportunity again, the AFC Championship, Peyton versus Tom 3. At first, it started just like the first two. A tale as old as time. The Pats took a 21-6 lead into the half. But Manning sat in that locker room, refusing to fail again. Right out of halftime, Manning spearheaded 2 touchdown drives to tie the game, 21-21. The wild shootout ended with the ball in Manning's hands, where he led the most significant game-winning drive of his career. Finally, Manning had beat Brady. Finally, he made it to the Super Bowl. In Super Bowl 41, the Chicago Bears put Manning in a familiar spot, down 14-6. Manning went to work, meticulously moving the ball on the Bears' stingy defense, play by play.
Hey, we gotta get that. We gotta get that Devin Hester reaction. Let me know in the comments y'all want that Devin Hester reaction.
Peyton brought the Colts back. Then, with some help from the Colts defense, they secured a pick 6 that sealed the championship. After all the losses to the Gators, to the playoff losses, not being able to beat Brady, he finally did it. Peyton Manning was a Super Bowl champion. The years following the Super Bowl were nothing short of dominance from Manning. In 08 and 09, Manning won 2 more MVPs. He led 13 game-winning drives between 2 seasons, including 4 14-point comebacks in 09 alone. Manning was a lock for at least 25 passing touchdowns, 4,000 yards, and a home playoff game. Honestly, he probably could have won more MVPs if not for voter fatigue. In 09, the Colts found themselves 14-0, including
I don't know how y'all feel about MVPs, but bro, 2 back-to-back MVPs, bro. The fuck? Who is this?
Record-breaking 23 straight regular season wins going back to last year. Instead of going for the perfect season, they rested their players. Manning's 4th MVP passed Brett Favre for the most ever. Then, once again, Manning found himself in a familiar place.
Brett Favre got 3 MVPs? Nah, we gotta react to Brett Favre, the fuck?
The AFC Championship game. He put on a clinic, making the all-world Jets defense look like trash. With 24 unanswered points to close the game, they downed New York on their way to their 2nd Super Bowl appearance. This time around, the Colts started the game with the lead, up 13-10 at halftime, but the Saints came roaring back, and with just 5:42 left in the game, they led 24-17. Everybody knew they were giving Manning the ball back with too much time, and like always, he orchestrated a drive that had the Colts in prime position on the Saints side of the field. Then, on a routine short pass to Reggie Wayne, Manning was picked to position on the Saints side of the field. Then, on a routine short pass to Reggie Wayne, Manning was picked off.
I know his
Peyton.
I know he was sick. I'm talking about.
Damn.
Boy, I watched that game live. Yeah, he was sick. Damn.
Then, on a routine short pass to Reggie Wayne, Manning was picked off. The unthinkable. Peyton threw the pick that cost the Colts the game. But of all the challenges Peyton faced throughout his career, the next trial would be the hardest. Prior to the 2010 season, Peyton injured a disc in his neck, and it began to do nerve damage. He played the entire 2010 season injured, and it injured a disc throughout his career, the next trial would be the hardest. Prior to the 2010 season, Peyton injured a disc in his neck, and it began to do nerve damage. He played the entire 2010 season injured and admitted to having less throwing strength than normal. He still put up 4,700 yards and 33 touchdowns, but at the conclusion of the season, he would have to undergo career-altering neck surgery. The first 2 smaller surgeries he received failed to prevent the disc in his neck from doing more damage, so he had to get spinal fusion. The fusion was successful, but it completely destroyed his arm strength. He couldn't grip, let alone throw a football anymore. Doctors told him he would likely never play again, and he missed the entire 2011 season. How important was Peyton Manning to the Colts? Without him, they won just 2 games. This secured them the first pick in the draft, and they selected Andrew Luck, Peyton's replacement. And they left Peyton out in the cold, cutting him. His time as an Indianapolis Colt was over. With all the questions surrounding Manning, would he ever get back to that MVP level?
I was wondering how that all happened. I'm like, damn, they got him the fuck up on out of there. Damn, I know that hurt Peyton, boy.
Let alone play well. But the Denver Broncos wanted to risk it all, and they signed Peyton Manning. Mile high. Of all the record-breaking comebacks throughout Peyton's career, this was easily his best. In 2012, his first year in Denver, he set every Broncos passing record and brought the playoffs back to Mile High. His first season after career-threatening neck surgery, he threw for 4,659 yards and 37 touchdowns. In the playoffs, it took a mile-high miracle and double overtime, but the Ravens did defeat the Broncos in the divisional round. That season proved to Peyton that he was back, though, and now he was about to make sure everyone else knew it too. In the 2013 opener, a revenge game against the Ravens, Manning threw 7 touchdown passes. He threw 16 touchdowns in the first 4 games and 20 before his first interception. Somehow, at 37 years old, with a reconstructed neck, he found another tier, another level. Every week it seemed he was throwing for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. He had 4 different receivers catch 10 touchdowns, another record. With 1 game left, he broke the regular season TD record, and Denver became the first team to score 600 points in a season. Manning finished 2013 with 5,477 yards and 55 touchdowns, both records. It was the greatest.
This man went out there and threw for almost 60 touchdowns and almost 6,000 yards. 5,500 with 55 with half a neck. Man, come on, man. He's an alien, bro. He's not real. That's the conclusion I came to.
Regular season by any player ever. He won his 5th MVP and is the only player to win the award on 2 different teams. Surprise, surprise. The historic year led to another showdown with Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game. Manning was electric, throwing for 400 yards and 2 touchdowns in a commanding victory. Peyton was back in the Super Bowl, this time against the Legion of Boom, the greatest offense ever versus the best defense in football. The opening play summed up Super Bowl 48. The snap sailed over Manning's head for a safety. Seattle's D-line hit Manning over and over, and they suffocated receivers downfield. Denver's historic offense was shut out for 3 quarters in a 43-8 blowout loss. 2014 would be Manning's last full season, another incredible 4,727-yard, 39-touchdown year. This time in the playoffs, he faced his successor in Indy. Luck and the Colts took down Denver 24-13 in the divisional round. By 2015, the world knew it was Sheriff Peyton's last ride. He was already the all-time passing yards, touchdowns, and wins leader. But with his arm strength deteriorating, Peyton's body couldn't make the plays his brain could see anymore. He played just 8 full games in the regular season before a torn ligament in his foot put him on ice for the remainder of the year. Despite that, there was no way the injury was going to keep Manning from playing in the playoffs. After defeating the Steelers in the divisional round, a familiar foe stood in the way. The final meeting between Tom Brady and Peyton Manning came in another AFC Championship game, the 5th time they met in the playoffs. Manning managed the game perfectly, letting his incredible defense beat up on Brady to the tune of a 20-18 win. Manning was now 3-2 against Brady in the playoffs, erasing all the hate he got for his crushing losses. Peyton's finale would be.
I think I seen that in the other video, because I think I got a Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady video. I gotta go check that out. Yeah, I think Peyton Manning came back and got him
for a Super Bowl championship. It was as storybook as they come. Denver's defense, with superstar Von Miller, took the #1 ranked Carolina Panthers offense and dismantled them.
Still hurt me for
early
Cam,
strip
man.
sack on Cam Newton was taken to the house.
That still hurt me till this day.
Lead, Manning was in his element. He could manage the game and control the clock. It was completely different than early in his career, where he shouldered the load for his team. Denver led the entire game. Then, when Von Miller struck again late in the 4th, giving the ball back to Manning inside the 10, the game was as good as over. C.J. Anderson barreled in for the last touchdown of the game. Manning's final pass would be a 2-point conversion to Benny Fowler, clinching the Broncos championship 24-10. For a guy that supposedly can never win the big one, Peyton Manning went out a champion. Manning was so special it took just 13 seconds to be voted a first-ballot Hall of Famer. Even Tom Brady says the Sheriff is the greatest of all time. That's how good he is.
Hey, man, we already knew he was going to be a first ballot. That ain't even a question, bro. But damn, who is this guy? 55, bro. Like, comment, subscribe, bro. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments what quarterback should I react to next, man. Let me know who I should react to next, man. But I'm going to see y'all next video, man. Y'all already know what's going on, bro. It just be aliens walking amongst us, bro. And we just let it happen, bro. But, hey, it is what it is. I appreciate everybody who tuned in, man. Y'all already know what it is.